Reds. Welcome to Talking Reds. Good evening, Liverpool fans. Good evening, football fans. Welcome to Talking Reds in the latest news and what is going to be a huge summer. That's what I keep saying. That's what I keep seeing. Huge summer. Several signings gone to Lewis Steele. And every single journalist out there saying we've got a big summer is going to get backed. We're going to talk about that in this stream. We're going to talk a little bit about Trent Alexander-Arnold again. Hints that he might stay. Despite the confirmation of him leaving, there's still little hints from himself, and Gakpo speaking after the game on Sunday as well. Diaz potentially staying now at Liverpool. That is the words. There was rumours on reports linking Diaz away from Liverpool to Barcelona, likes of Barcelona and maybe Saudi, but now it looks more likely that he's staying. More on the three players that we are thoroughly linked to, more so than everyone, according to Lewis Steele. And yeah, boys, champions of England, but now we've got to go again. And that's how the best teams of the best clubs in the world operate. Stu, I spoke to you since Sunday. How you feel after Sunday for number one and number two? Can we operate like that this summer?
We better add do. That's all I can say on that. I'm still not recovering still from Sunday, but still on a little bit of a buzz from it. I mean, the other day, we knew it was coming, but it's nice to have it fully confirmed now that we are champions. We are the most successful team in the country, and that's not going to get beaten, I surmise, for some time. I think I can't see United coming out of anywhere challenging for the next few years. And when it comes to the likes of Arsenal, they're just constant chokers. So I can't see them coming close at all. But the main key point is, are we going to get backed? Well, if the journos are anything to go by, we are. We're going to get backed quite heavily. Looking at the amount of rumours that are going around, but that's all they are at the moment is rumours. I do have a feeling that some deals are already done. I think it's going to be done, some of the deals anyway. I think there's going to be a couple that may stretch out the summertime, but I think there's going to be a couple like we did with the McAllister deal and with Szoboszlai. They're going to get done early. And I think personally one of them is going to be Kerkez. I think that is going to be the first one through the door. As for the others, I'm not entirely sure. There's way too many names being banded around at the moment to keep track.
Yeah.
So, but like we've discussed before, left back, DM, striker, winger, centre back. That's 5 key positions that we need to fill in, but also replace the players that are going to leave. So the turnover for the squad is going to be pretty high, I reckon, this summer.
That is the reports anyway.
Yeah.
That's the question, though, isn't it? We've seen it so many times, haven't we? Every single season, every single summer, it's the same noise. At what point do we stop listening to the wolf that's crying?
Well,
about 5 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. How many times do you want to get burnt before something clicks?
Well,
I'm hoping we're going to get proved wrong.
I think this season, like I said on the stream yesterday, and I think that in general, like I'm obviously the most, I'm not anti FSG. I don't think they don't supply us with the goods when we need them. But they're obviously successful with us. We've won 2 Premier Leagues. It's the fact that we could have won more Premier Leagues and could have won more trophies under FSG if we had the right backing at the right moments. I don't know. I think this season, like as I said, from a business point of view, it makes sense to bring the players in that we need because if you can sustain that success at this current period of time, I don't know. I'm not going to write City off next season. I think they'll be back to the best, but not the City we've seen in the past. They're going to lose big names, big players in the dressing room. De Bruyne's going. Don't know about Gundogan, Bernardo Silva. He's going as well. There's a few others, and there's obviously other players like that they bought that have not worked out. Grealish, Doku. I think them two have, not really worked out. I think there's a future with Savio, but Arsenal, they're sort of in the same boat with us. They need to get a striker, but the more appetizing club to come to is Liverpool, isn't it? If you're going to look at anywhere.
Well, Naj, this is the big one. It looks like Real Madrid are going to pull out all the stops to get Saliba.
Yeah, well, that could you know what? I say, as much as that is saying that, and I said this for the past 2 seasons, I think Gabriel's a far better centre back. They're not as in terms of ability wise. I think leadership wise, and
As an overall
Gabriel,
player.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's more of a player. Like, I mean, Saliba's got the physical attributes to be better than Gabriel, but I've not seen that over this last 2 years. I think the commanding better centre back is Gabriel. He almost looks, he makes Saliba better in a way. But if they lose Saliba, that's always going to set them back because they're going to have to go into the market and get another centre back then. But I mean, 100 million, which I presume it is something like that, isn't it?
It's got to be about that, yeah.
So, I mean, 100 million, is it really the worst thing for Arsenal losing Saliba? I mean, at points this season, they've not really missed him that much. I know they finished second, but look what they do in the Champions League. Are they going to miss someone like that? I think they'd miss Gabriel more than Saliba, in my opinion, anyway.
I think they're going to find out tonight.
Yeah,
They are going to find out tonight. Yeah, they are. Abdul, welcome into the stream. Thank you for getting your comment in as well. Hi, Damon, Naz, Stu, and chat. How are we all doing? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Blessing and greeting. Champions of England 2024, 25, 20. Number 20. Don't ever forget that, everyone. Nope. We need to be backed, invest and rebuild on left back, right back, centre back, CDM, number 9. And I think those are the positions I think all of us at Talking Heads, pretty much everyone Talking Heads that really want to improve on. Not just first teams, in terms of squad as well. The right back, I think we're sort of all happy with Bradley being the right back, maybe a rotational player with someone else. Left back certainly needs updating, CDM potentially, and striker certainly, but then it all needs onto FSG, all leads onto Hughes and Edwards here. We can't stay still because other teams in England and Europe, we improve next season and future. Arne Slot needs back in investment by FSG, Rich Hughes and Michael Edwards, and Julian Ward, do your job. I mean, that's what I think. The thing is, with Edwards, Hughes, Ward, they're good enough to do the jobs. They've done the jobs. They got Arne Slot in. When they do get back, they will get the jobs done. It's just what money they've got to work with. That is the biggest question. That is the biggest if on FSG, and that is down to FSG. They're the ones that sanction the money. We can go into this summer with the most healthiest financial state. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. We've been one of the richest teams in the world for the last 10 years.
Yeah,
we've never really shown that power in the transfer window ever.
Well, go off this season alone. We're looking at making or bringing in over 300 million with the league win, the Champions League run, the cup runs, obviously gate receipts and everything. It's not all profit. I get that, but bringing that amount of money into the club and then not having, and when fans are not stupid. If FSG do not spend this summer, they know they're going to get hit hard with massive amounts of complaints. There'll probably be protests and stuff arranged. I could see that sort of thing happening. But I think this time round, he will get backed, mainly because he didn't get anything done last summer. And that was a tactical decision that they made when Slot came in. I understand that. And to be fair, it worked out pretty well for us. So who are we to say that it didn't work and it was a bad way to go about it? But now is the point that we do need that money invested. We need those new players coming in, some of the older players coming out. Every squad needs a refresh every now and then. And ours needs it now. If we're going to compete and take advantage, like Naz said, Man City are going to drop off. Not drop off. They're still going to be competitive, but they're going to have another season.
A lot of work to do to get back up,
Yeah, to get back into things. Arsenal are going to be the same. They're going to have to invest again. And then you got the likes of Chelsea, which whatever they're going to do. United, I'm discounting them at the moment. Newcastle, Villa.
Relegation fodder.
You know what? Honestly, I've said this quite a few times, actually. Newcastle and Villa, I'd say I'm quite worried about them next season.
Yeah.
I slowly creeping up.
Yeah, if Newcastle keep hold of Isak, that's we don't nick them off them,
Hope
if they
not.
keep hold of Isak and build on that midfield is quality. That was one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. That was really out. I know with Anthony Gordon, Isak, Jacob Murphy's been good this season. If they got a really good right winger in, and maybe one or two more centre backs. I think Shah's good enough to be a top 4 team. Centre back. He's obviously been there at Newcastle for a while, but I think they had more players as quite a goalkeeper as well. Obviously, I don't think that Pope's at it anymore, but I think they're really someone to look at. And Villa, they make some of them loan signings permanent. They're going to be scary next season, and they almost feel like they're in a phase ahead of other teams because they've done it earlier on. You know, sort of Villa, like he's sort of like trial and tested it already, hasn't he? You know, with this last couple of weeks, couple of months with the from January transfer window. But yeah, I mean, like I say, next season's going to be. I think next season's going to be more competitive in terms of the top four. I think this season, as in like who's going for the title next season, because I mean, it's been a good quality season, but as much as we can say that, but I mean, we have been the best, and that's we've only won what we've got put in front of us, and that's just what it is. You know, we've been the best team by a mile, and that's it. You know, but next season that won't happen again. You just know it won't. If you're contending, and we need to be in that position where we're ahead of the pack. You know, we're retaining this title. We've got this. You know, we've brought these players. These are going to bring us another title again, and that's what we need to be. That's what I said today, Mo. You know, I said it'd be lovely to go back to back. It'd be good. It really put a stamp on the league then, and be like, right, you know, there's no messing about here, sort of thing. You know, like City did back in the day. I say back in the day, back about 6 years.
Back last year.
But you know what I mean? Like they put a stamp on the league, like almost to feel like, oh, you're untouchable, and that's what I think.
Yeah.
We like we need to be to get a second league title is untouchable. I think you're like, wow, you know, that's a team that's a winning team. I know we are a winning team anyway, but to really put the authority in.
It's a club mentality as well, isn't it? It's a club. It's a mentality of what a club like Liverpool should be doing. You've won the league.
I want to see more Salah selfies at the Cop end.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
Yeah,
just him at the Cop end celebrating another title win with the fans, because that was class. By
the way, that marketing from Google Pixel this season,
yeah,
using Salah as their main person to advertise Google Pixel, that is marketing at its best.
Yeah,
absolutely at its best. Big up, Zakia. Thank you for coming in the chat, mate. Thank you for coming in and getting your case forward about 21 coming. Hopefully, Zakia. Hopefully, we just need to. We can't stand still. That's what we have done before. We've been in this situation before. Won the league and we stood still. And what happened to standing still? We sunk in the quicksand. We found ourselves in quicksand, sunk quite quickly, and got out of it. Obviously, when Klopp left, and we sort of got out, sort of reached the hand out of the quicksand, slotted that hand. Now we can't go back into the quicksand. That is not standing still. Otherwise, we're very, very much in trouble. So we're going to go over what also the news. This is the news stream today. So Lewis Steele, our good friend at Talking Reds, come out and said a few things. Yep, Nige, have a good. Nige off to training, guys. Off to football training. So have a great night, guys. Have a great night, Nige, and hopefully we'll speak to you tomorrow. So Lewis Steele. Liverpool are already plotting how to win title number 21, with the club set to commit a big investment this summer. The Reds are planning a busy transfer window to capitalise on their triumph. At FSG, there you go. This is the big announcement. FSG will back Arne Slot to make several signings, Stu. Several.
It's in black and white now. They can't back out.
And this is what I'm saying. We've seen this several times, right? And this for me. I don't like giving chance after chance after chance. This for me is the last chance. And if they don't do it this summer, then fuck the gaslighting.
Yeah.
Because it is gaslighting.
Yeah. No, I'll totally agree.
And let me ask you another question as well. Because we just won the league. Will they get away with it again? If they don't?
No, they won't. Not this time. The fans could just about accept that little drop off we had after our title win in 2020. And it was a funny time because of the pandemic time as well, which didn't help matters with bringing transfers in. Nobody knew what the hell was going on, all that sort of stuff. This time round, though, there's no excuses. There is no excuses. We've just won the Premier League title. We've just equaled the best history of English football, 20 league titles. We are now equal with Man United. We are now the most successful English club. We should be acting like it as well. We are the biggest English club in the world. I don't care what Man United fans say about, commercialism, we're better commercially, blah, blah, blah. No, we are the most profitable and best club in all of England. It's as simple as that. Most successful. If you don't like it, so what? I don't care. That is the pure fact of it. But we need the board to act like that as well. I'm not saying that Edwards and Huijsen that won't follow that up. Like you said before, it's down to what they have in their war chest. I'm fully expecting a war chest of about 150 to 175 million, in all honesty. That is what they should be backing us with.
At least,
I guess time will tell on that one. So, but at the end of the day, we'll still break even because there's still going to be a few players leaving as well, and for fees as well. So I can't see. Yeah, okay, we'll have a transfer budget of like 150 million or whatever, but I don't think we're actually going to dip too much into that with those players going out. So
that's the thing. So yeah, we're gonna get a good amount of money. So we don't even have to ask for much.
No, we don't.
But will we get that extra help? That's the question. We haven't done in the past.
Well, that's by the sounds of it. It's in, as you say, it's in black and white now. It's been reported that FSG are going to back him and going to back him hard for the players that he now wants, that he can bring in and perfect the system that he has put in place. And we have to take advantage of this as well. The fact that the clubs behind us have faltered, and there are a couple of clubs that are creeping up. We have to stay ahead of the game now. We have to. Otherwise, it'll just be another title win, and we'll have to wait another 5 years. None of us want that. None of us want that at all. We want to win it back to back, and then maybe the third year down the line, whether that's possible in a tough league. Can we equal Man City's record of doing it 4 on the
That's it, yeah. And we don't expect to win the trophy every single season. We don't expect to win the league every season. What we expect is off the pitch, do enough to ensure we can go win it again, or should be going to win it again. We should be going to the next season as favourites.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
But if we stand still now with the same team or add 1 or 2, we might not go in as favourites.
No.
And that's not good enough.
No, I mean
that's why it's not good enough.
For my picks, like sort of, I would be looking at the likes of for left back, Robinson or Kerkez. Right back, probably somebody along the lines of Frimpong, maybe somebody a little bit more defensive. I don't know. Defensive midfield, Adam Wharton, Angelo Stiller. Attacking midfielders / wingers, you got Mbumo, Semenyo. I'm not too sure on that one, to be fair.
We're going to speak about Semenyo in just a second, guys. If you tune into that.
The lad at Monaco, Ben Seguir, very, very talented African footballer. It reminds me a little bit of Salah, actually.
Yeah.
He's got a good release clause in him. And then you've got the striker options. You've got Gyökeres, Sesko, Isak. We've got a lot of work to do. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we get it done.
So we've seen the Lewis Steele thing. I saw a report yesterday about saying that we're going to back. I've seen it all week now. And then Sky Sports have come out and said Liverpool will not stand still this summer and rest on their laurels. The club wants to be busy in the transfer market, strengthen their squad, and go again next year and develop their next Liverpool title-winning team. So that it is constantly. This has been reports all week, guys. This has been reports all week that we're not going to stand still. We're not going to stand still. And I asked, we have stood still before, and we've stood still, and we've got away with it. I saw something earlier saying, "Are we going to apologise to FSG if they back us this summer?" No, it doesn't correct what they've done in the past.
No,
it does. I'll praise them if they do it. If they do the job what they should be doing, I'll praise them. Well done, thank you for that. But I'm not going to apologise for what I've seen in the past where we have stood still.
Yeah,
it doesn't change anything. So yeah, let's go on to the players that we are linked with then, and more news coming out. Lewis Steele again, the main guy at the moment for news. A striker Liverpool have been interested in is Isak, Osimhen, and Sesko, among others. While wingers include Antoine Semenyo and Brian Mbeumo are on the radar. So they are the 5 names currently. Oh, then that wasn't Lewis Steele. I do apologise. That's Sky Sports that said that, but Lewis Steele also came out with a couple of names himself. One second, I'll get the Lewis Steele one up. But yeah, what do you think about those specific 5? I think, Lewis Steele says about Ekitike, Huijsen, and Kerkez. They're the 3 he said. So I think they're the standard 3 right now. They're the 3 that everyone knows about. Ekitike for striker, Kerkez, and Huijsen for centre back. They're the 3 that are mainly being talked about here with Lewis Steele. And then Sky Sports saying there the 3 strikers that we're looking at are Isak, Osimhen, and Sesko. The wingers we're looking at are Semenyo and Mbeumo. These are the strikers that we've all said, though, and the wingers that we've all said. Let me go those 5 specifically, the Sky Sports ones.
Yep.
Do you think any of those are possible?
Okay, give me the first name that they had.
So they've got Isak.
Isak, for me, is the number one choice. Hands
Do you
down.
think it's possible under FSG?
That again, that's a tough question, because for me, it still hinges on Newcastle's ability to qualify for the Champions League, which is by no means certain. You got about 4 or 5 teams that are all around those couple of spots. So Newcastle aren't guaranteed that. I do think Isak stays at Newcastle if they get Champions League football. If they don't, then I think that makes the task a little bit easier, but no more cheaper, so to speak. I still think it'll be £100 million to get him through the door.
Yeah.
Whether FSG will pull that out, well, at the end of the day, I know a lot of people don't like this. I'm hanging on the fact that we threatened to spend 125 million on Caicedo, which
still looking for that money. I still don't know where that money's gone. Someone needs to get Scooby-Doo on that. Someone needs to get Scooby-Doo on that investigation right now. Where's that Caicedo money?
It'll be those pesky kids running off with it.
John Henry with mask on.
Yeah, Isak for me is the number one choice. But there's still a couple of names that haven't been linked that I think would actually do a decent job. Retegui at Atalanta. He's had a fantastic couple of seasons in Italy recently.
He is, yeah. He's absolutely dominating it. Absolutely, yeah.
Like partner at Leipzig, Openda. Lois Openda is.
Yeah, he's not being looked at though, is he? And he's I think it's suited because I think it's more than Sesko.
Yeah, it's weird. But I think Openda plays more in that position of like sort of Diaz and Gakpo just off the left. So that may be why we're not looking at him. But yeah, Isak definitely is my first choice without a doubt. What other names we got?
So the Isak, Osimhen, and Sesko, the other two as well for striking options. Osimhen's a good option. Again, it was brilliant at Napoli. He's gone to Galatasaray. Still is doing well at Galatasaray. Who can't do well at Galatasaray? It's too good for that league.
Yeah.
But do you think he'd suit Liverpool? Here's a question for that.
He's more of an out-and-out striker. The only thing I think that lets him down a little bit is the fact that he's got a lot of selfish play to him. Does he work for the team as much? Maybe not. But then again, your classic old-style strikers, which he really is. He's quick. He can finish and he can head. That's all you want from a striker, and he is that. So I think he would do well. And it would be a cheaper option. And frankly, I think it's for me, if we can't get Isak, it's between him and Kerkez to get in.
Last Pie says no way for Mbeumo, 10 times a player than Semenyo. I think Mbeumo is a very, very good option. I think him and Semenyo, though, I think it's quite close. I think Mbeumo's better physically, which is probably suit us, and I think he can. But I think Semenyo's more versatile, which would suit us even more in terms of across the front line. But for me, I think Kudus would be a perfect one. If I were going to ask any of those three, Premier League wingers, I'd be looking at Kudus over those two. Because Kudus is as versatile as he get, and he's magic. He's absolutely magic. It's just, again, the money side of things.
Has dropped off a lot this season. West Ham, I know, have been
poor. West Ham have dropped off a lot this season, yeah.
It's a difficult one. I mean, I'm just looking at the little data thing here.
It reminds me of Ratzakelia. When Napoli dropped off, Ratzakelia dropped off again, but doesn't mean that he's lost his ability. I think we don't get all three, says here, Zekia. We need to go for... I'm guessing that's Isak to get... We need to go... to get in the players under the radar. Oh, we need to go for players to get under the radar. Back to players going under. Okay. Yeah, I get that. But sometimes we do need that ready-made player, like a striker. If we want the best striker out there, don't get a Nunes now. Get one of the best strikers out there in Isak.
Yeah. Which again is where I would edge some caution onto Seshko. I think Seshko's got the talent, but I'm a little bit dubious that he could be one of those players that could end up becoming another Nunes. Whereas the thing with Isak more than anything, he's Premier League proven. You just look at his form this season. It just goes to show he's Premier League proven, so you don't have to worry about that side of things, whether the player is going to adapt. Which again is one of the things why I would say probably Kerkez over Osimhen as the second option, because Kerkez, even though he didn't play in the Premier League, he played in the Championship, and he knows the country, he knows the league. So again, adaptation-wise, not too bad, and he's absolutely smashing it in at Sporting again.
He's got another hat-trick the other night.
4 goals.
Yeah. I remember it. Yeah, I didn't look at the final score. I knew he had 3.
40 goals in the league this season or something.
Ridiculous. He's absolutely clear. It's absolutely ridiculous. Your dream of Izaki isn't going anywhere for less than 50. I know, let me dream. Let me dream a little bit, last pile. Let me dream just a little bit. Don't be John Henry here. I likened John Henry the other day to Freddy Krueger. You know, he enjoyed your dream, and Freddy Krueger just comes in and slashes your arms off a little bit. That's John Henry. That's John Henry, my transfer dreams. Abdul says here, 1 second, Abdul. Gone up there. Maybe Kerkez, Dean Huijsen, Frimpong, Belabor, and Webber Seska. That's a lot of money there spent there for FSG there. Kerkez bought. I don't think we'll sign that many players. Our transfer strategy to 20 to 25-year-old developing players, project players, quality and budget 70 million. Is that, Abdul? Can I ask you a question? Is that budget before sales?
Fair point.
I don't. So, that's budget without sales. Is that the budget we'll get before we're selling Nunes, selling whoever else goes, Simicast, Kelleher? Exactly realistic. FSG has shown us that with Nunes being a flop. Said Zakia there. I'll get that up.
Every club has a flop every now and then. That's just the way it goes in football. Sometimes things just don't work out. Nunes didn't work out for whatever reason that is. It just happens. I think going back onto the Semenyo and Mbeumo and Kudus, like sort of comparison. I'm just looking at the data from this season, the little polygons. Out of all 3 of them, Mbeumo, I think, is probably the most likely that would fit into our squad, because he's the one that produces the most key passes and assists as well as attacking actions.
Yeah.
So I think he would be the best option out of those 3 if we did go for him. But again, I don't know what Brentford have put. What sort of price do they put on Mbeumo?
Well, it's him and Witter basically carrying their team.
Yeah.
If I was Brentford, I would stick at least 70 million on him. You don't want to lose him. You don't want to lose him.
Around about 50 for him, to be fair.
And if you look at top scorers in the league, I think him and Witter are up there in top. I'm sure they're up there in top like 6 or 7 or something, which is ridiculous for a team of Brentford. For me, and the fact that Brentford they can't defend, can they? They can't defend. That's a big issue for Brentford. The fact that Witter and Mbeumo have scored so many goals, and yet they still struggle.
They took Sepp van der Berg and Carvalho off our hands, so thank you very much.
Oh yeah, so Zakia says we spend a lot of money. We can't afford for us to do that again with FSG model. But FSG, they are stubborn with their model, but they have, and I'll give them praise for this. They have altered slightly on the wage to get Salah and Van Dijk to stay. So they have manoeuvred their stance on certain model already. Can they do it on the transfer model? That's a big question. Yeah. I think regarding the Salah and Van Dijk situation, I think they've only done that because they knew the backlash would have been too big. They knew they wouldn't be able to get away with that. There's no way. The smart people, the business people, they're not football people, but they're smart people. They know for a fact if they let Van Dijk and Salah go off at the end of this season, they think the 2 main guys that's won of the league.
I've said it plenty of times. That
backlash would have been ridiculous.
Oh, God.
That backlash would have been too much. That could have forced them out of the club. That's how big of a backlash it would have been.
It would have been.
They know that was going to happen.
Those players out, and it would have been the club up for sale because the fans wouldn't have had it at all.
No.
I'm bloody certain of that. I mean, you just got to look at the way the celebrations went this weekend. But can you imagine that flipped round if they let Van Dijk, Salah, and Trent all go? And
I don't think John Henry would have turned up. He wouldn't have wanted the slack. He wouldn't have had it.
No.
There's no way to turn up. And that tells me a lot about him.
He just
if we let Salah and Van Dijk go for free, he would not have turned up Sunday. I don't care if we're in the league or not.
Linda along again to give us some eye candy again. So.
Budget each player. We need takeovers like Keita and Nunes. Smash the like, guys. Oh, great show. Thank you so much, Jackie. First time viewer, welcome. Welcome to the.
Appreciate it.
This is a fan channel, I want to give you the best content out there. It's hard under budgets. Obviously, I'm only a small fan channel, but I want to give the best content I physically can for you guys. Not just lives. We'll do more than lives. Myself and Hux do a stream on Thursdays. Fridays we have a red zone. We do pre-recorded stuff as well. Try to get out there. And I've got one up coming up about Salah's records and what records he can break going into the next few years. But yeah, I want to give you guys the best content I can. I physically can under what I'm doing right now. Yeah, budget on each player. We can't take risk on transfer. They might not come. Pressure playing for LFC. Exactly. Well, the pressure playing for LFC is massive, and a lot of people. But I want players that want to have that pressure. I want players to want to have that pressure. That's what it's about playing for Liverpool, to have that pressure. Look at Salah this season. All the pressure on him to score goals. He don't care.
Sorry, just another little point to raise here as well when we're looking at our transfer targets. Another thing to consider is the old registration of the squad as well. That's another thing that will turn our minds to certain targets and certain players, because obviously being in Europe, you need a homegrown quota and you also need a club quota as well.
Yep.
And the fact that, well, we could possibly still lose Trent this summer. That's one player out of the club who is homegrown at club. Elliott is classed as that as well. If he leaves, that's another one out. So that's 2 English players off.
Potentially Gomez or Kwanzaa, potentially.
Yep. So that's 4 English players out. And we need to replace them to make sure we got the registration for the Champions League sorted out. So, I think Kerkez, because he's under 21, would actually be classed as a homegrown player. After another season, so that'll be all right.
I know you're thinking here. We've mentioned it before. Adam Wharton,
yes,
would suit that massively.
He'd tick both boxes. We need another DM who can rotate with Grav, and he's English. It's a win-win,
and he's brilliant.
Yeah,
and he's brilliant. Again, how much money that would cost? A big part of a cup finalist team this season. English tax as well.
You're looking at 50 to 60 million.
I'd say more than that, mate.
Maybe.
I would. The season is at.
He has had a really good season. And to be honest, it's the first time I've seen him play when I watched the game on the weekend. First time I've managed to see him through a full 90 minutes. Super impressive. And very, very similar style to Gravenberch. Just likes to get hold of the ball, turn, pass it out, or move along with it a little bit. So
he's not a sideways passer, is he? He likes to go forward. Yeah. He's always wanted to go forward. That's what I love about him.
Yeah. And that could be the best antithesis for our side when we're looking for somebody in the deeper positions to perhaps when we get to like the 60th, 70th minute mark and we're struggling to find a pass somewhere. Somebody like him as well. Brilliant. You look how effective Elliott's been this season coming off the bench and providing those little split passes here or there. Adam Wharton can do exactly the same, but he's just a lot bigger and stronger and can play in the central midfield. So
let me ask you a question, Stu. Because obviously Lewis Steele also has revealed like those are the positions we're looking at. He said they are prioritising striker and defensive reinforcements. A midfielder could also be targeted. But there was a report the other week saying that we might not go for midfielder because we don't see the priority. How much of a mistake would that be?
I still think it would be a mistake, but at the same time, I have to try and put my trust into the backroom staff on if they're not going for a midfielder or they're prioritising other positions over that, then I've got to think, okay, perhaps they have got enough faith in the likes of Bajcetic coming back. But from what I've heard, he's going to go straight back out on loan for another season to get a full season in Spain. So I still think it would be a mistake. And
I'm also thinking as well, mate. Remember Trent's going, we're losing a lot of his passing ability.
Exactly. So
we need to replace that somewhere on the pitch.
Exactly. And that is the difficult part of if we do lose Trent, it's his creativity that we're going to miss, his range of passing that we're going to miss. Just as the same as when Gerrard retired, we missed his range of passing as well. He could ping him about like that. And yeah, it's a difficult one. It is a difficult one. And we're not going to be the only team that's going to be pushing for transfers this season. There's going to be a lot of teams. So it's going to be extremely competitive summer. It's going to be interesting to watch and talk about and see who comes in and who goes out. because there's going to be a lot of movement and going to be a lot of different looking teams next season. I think.
This is what I'm going to sum up this midfield. If we keep that same midfield next season, not just as a starting midfield, just going into next season with no midfielders added to it at all, we're going to become very, very predictable to beat. Yeah. And what I say that is better is we've only got one style of player there. Is Gravenberch turns on the ball, wants to drive with the ball. He's not a passer. And if we're losing Trent, which is pretty much going to happen, if we're honest, despite the recent what Gakpo said on Sunday and despite other things as well, we're losing another way of attacking a team. And we're seeing this season, Gravenberch, first half of the season, impeccable. Second half of the season, he dropped off a cliff and is knackered, and we again I don't know. He wants to go forward at times. Again on Sunday against Tottenham, he ran forward, threw a couple of them, lost the ball, and then that's it. They had a massive chance at a counter attack with no one there. Gravenberch, you can tell what Gravenberch wants to do that a little bit more, moving forward, run forward, do it, but there's no one there to cover him. If he's not, that's going to be a big problem next season if we don't address it.
I agree. It's something we need a cover, another option to just rotate with him a little bit more.
Yeah.
Again, another prime option for that would be Angelo Stiller from Stuttgart.
Yeah, Stiller here.
It's a phenomenal season again. So I think the two DM options for me at the moment, three, but I think the third option, Belieber, would be massively out of reach because Brighton are probably going to slap a massive price tag on his head.
They want that McAllister money, mate. They want that McAllister money back.
Oh, God, yeah. They're going to charge us treble just to make sure they get some more McAllister money out of us.
They want that McAllister money. We absolutely robbed them for that. Last player says, if FFG don't start spending, they will eventually be overtaken by lots of teams. Too much money in the league not to spend. Look how strong mid-table teams are now. And what the thing is, Stu mentioned it earlier about Villa and Newcastle. Those two teams, those two clubs have ambitious owners behind them.
Yep.
You saw what happened with Villa in the January transfer window. They were already in the Champions League. They'd already gone through the Champions League. They were doing well in the cups. Already doing well in the league. He said, "No, we'll do one better." They went to go get Rashford, Asensio, and who else did they get? Rashford, Asensio. They got someone else. Who else did they get?
Can't remember.
They got someone else. I'm sure they got three. They got three, didn't they?
Can't remember.
And it improved them massively. It improved them massively. Instant impact from all three of them. And that's what you need. Sometimes you need that little push. This season, I think that push didn't happen for us, but it worked because Arsenal and City weren't really doing much to put any pressure on us. I think next season is going to be a different one. We need to start showing a little bit more ambition now off the pitch and just go again. Really go again. We've got a chance there to build something absolutely spectacular. I'm just going to go on the Trent thing now anyway. So we've seen about Trent Alexander-Arnold on Sunday. Corey Gakpo said about Van Dijk, Salah staying. He also said possibly Trent. He said that in an interview after, didn't he? I still don't know if that John Henry's wife, Linda, she did something on Twitter, on Instagram, didn't she, where she liked Ash but eyes. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't fully see if that was confirmed or anything. But let's have a look. So Trent Alexander-Arnold. So David Ornstein has said in the Athletic podcast, it's long since been the case that we're expecting him to join Real Madrid. But of course, until absolutely everything is finalised, that door is still slightly ajar.
Yep. And it is.
Is there any chance, Stu? Let me dream here for a little bit. I know someone's going to come in the chat here and kill my dreams as per, but let me dream for a second. Trent Alexander-Arnold, U-turn. Is it going to happen?
I would give it, I think at the moment, after the weekend, I think it's 50-50. Before the weekend, or before actually winning the title, I think it was more of a nailed on, like a 90-10.
Yeah, like 95-95, yeah.
But yeah, so something like that. But I think after the weekend and watching the way he was celebrating, and also I read somewhere, I think it was the day after, somebody got hold of a video of John Henry speaking to him on the sidelines during the celebrations and did a little lip reading. And John Henry was apparently subtly saying to him, you need to make the right decision. Something along those lines.
I think he wants. I think what the whole conversation was coming out and saying, like, you need to tell the fans whatever you decide, basically. I think he's the last person I want to talk to, though. If I want speak about future of the club, I want. It's not. He's the last. It's the first person I want to say, like, are you actually going to back our manager and go again? And do I want to go again? Probably the first person, but you're not going to get the answers that you want to hear out of him. Not a chance.
No.
And then also, did his brother post something as well? His brother's posted something as well, didn't they?
Yes.
Saying something about retiring his shirt.
Yeah. I mean, well, at the end of the day, who's going to wear 66 again? I can't. It's a weird number choice anyway.
It is. He just wants that Bellingham stain, but the Bellingham thing. Bellingham also retired the shirt at Birmingham, but he didn't do anything at Birmingham what Trent's done for us, if that makes sense. So, if we're not retiring 8 for Gerrard, we're not retiring 66 for Trent.
No, it's not happening.
If I'm honest.
At the end of the day, I do think it's about 50-50 at the moment. I think he had some food for thought after the weekend. You could see the emotion in his face and the happiness and the joy and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, who knows? But now the league is done. Ideally, he needs to.
It's got to come out. We need the truth now.
He needs to come clean, one way or another, and it gives the fans a chance to accept the decision, whatever way it goes. And then come the end of the season, when the trophy is presented to the team at Anfield, that could be done, and then we can all move on. But it needs to be sorted out now more than anything. He needs to make a decision.
And I don't think he's going to get the boos that would think he might get it if he announced it now, because everyone's just jubilation. Everyone's just gassed off winning the trophy. I'm honest.
Yeah, I think so. That's an interesting little comment.
Last part is apparently Atletico Madrid want Nunes. What are the odds of Nunes plus money for Alvarez deal is? I will walk in my bare feet with Nunes on my back to make that deal happen. I will swim the channel. I will pass immigration at the top of France. I won't take my passport. Let me deal with the shit that comes with it, not take my passport. I won't take my passport. I'll go through. I'll somehow sneak through. I'll swim the channel with him on my back. I'll walk through the length of France.
And drop him off at Madrid.
In fact, I'll even buy him. I'll buy him a croissant or something through France. I'll go to Paris on the way through because it's like in the middle, in it, top middle. Right. I'll buy him a croissant on the way. I'll take him to the Eiffel Tower just for sightseeing, just for being there, just for I want to make it a nice special time for him, and I will personally drop him off to Madrid. And I'll get the plane back with Alvarez.
You know what though?
Save his feet.
I could see that actually happening and him actually being really successful at Madrid. He's the type of player that Simeone can really manage well, and I think he'll do all right there. Doing it as a money and for Alvarez deal, because some rumours saying that Alvarez apparently isn't too happy with this season because they haven't performed that well. Well, stranger things have happened. Just put it that way. You never know.
I think Simeone and Nunes head to head. There's going to be some fights in that fucking dressing room.
Yeah, definitely.
Nunes has an ego. Nunes has a massive ego. He actually thinks he's not owed any like criticism or out.
Yeah.
Simeone gets some. Simeone won't hold back. If he sees too much, he won't hold back.
No.
That'll be box office. They need Amazon. Amazon, there you go. Amazon. If Nunes joins Atletico Madrid, Amazon Prime. Get your cameras right over there right now. That is a perfect opportunity to get your Amazon documentary out. Atletico Madrid. If Nunes joins Atletico Madrid, you will get content. I'm telling you now. Nunes and Simeone is prime content. It is popcorn eating content. I think the deal is on, but we might see other options again. Yeah, I think the thing is with Nunes, right? I think we'll use because we are relying on a lot on sales in terms of budget. I think we'll rely a lot on our budget on the Nunes sale.
Yeah.
Therefore, Saudi Arabia will be the best option for Liverpool, if that makes sense, for the budget.
Yeah.
But money plus Nunes for Alvarez, then we're already replacing that striker option there anyway. So that makes sense for me. But I was thinking the club sort of view on things. We need a budget. We need to sell players to get their budget. Nunes is probably the best player to sell this summer in terms of bringing in the best money.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't think they'll let him go just for a swap deal, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to have to skedaddle, unfortunately.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So I want to go through one more news story anyway before we go anyway. But yeah, thank you, Stu, for joining me tonight. Make sure you do, everyone in the chat, make sure you do like this video, subscribe to the channel, and get your notification bells on as well. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
No
but yeah, let me know in the chat as well what you think we will do this summer. Do you think this whole big summer, this huge transfer budget that we're going to get, is it real? Is it real? That's the question for you guys at home.
Or is that a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow?
Yeah. Stu will leave on that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Stu. Have a great night, mate.
See you later.
So yeah, let me know in the chat what you think. Do you think we do get that budget that we have promised right now? That is what is coming out of all the reporters. Lewis Steele's very close to the club. You know, Sky Sports have come out of it. A few other reporters coming out of it saying like we are going to have a huge transfer budget. We're going to have a big summer. Got some lot of changes to do. I don't want to fall into the lies again. I don't want to do it. But I want to do it at the same time. We need a bit of backing now to go again this summer and go again next season. But in the last few seasons, I've not fallen for it. I don't want to be dragged back into the excitement and the hope of really, really being a big club that we are. £2 is John's idea of a big budget. I mean, did you see? I don't know if you saw him the other night when he went to Anfield. I don't know if you see how tight his pockets were. You could almost see his. I'll let you imagine that. But yeah, £2 for John's idea is it's a long as fans say we needed players in the past and never got the positions on targets. Well, that's what I'm saying. But again, FSG will say, look, we've won the league this year. We're not buying anyone, so why can't you do it again? I think that this is what I'll be. This is my thoughts on the situation. I think we do certainly going to go buy a left back and a striker. We've got to. Nunes is going to go. Nunes is pretty much gone. We've got to buy a striker anyway. Left back is pretty much, I think, the nailed on spot we improve because Robertson's getting a bit. I want to say bad, but he's starting to cost us points. Tsimikas is never going to be Robertson level, so left back is an absolute must. I think we sign 3 players maximum. I do, and I think it depends a lot on sales. And I think we'll get a striker. I think we'll get a left back. I think the only other position we'll spend is a centre back potentially. And I've got a feeling Konate leaves, and I'm feeling we get rid of Konate to bring in a centre back rather than adding on to the squad. That's what I've got a feeling about midfield. If we don't address midfield, it's a big problem again. For me, it is. And I said this a few years ago when we needed a midfield as well. And I hope you're right in what. I hope I'm not right. I hope we don't sign just 3. We need at least 4 or 5 for me. This must be the summer to make the head coach's team. He starts writing his own team's destiny, and none of this Klopp's inherited team. I think there's a lot of players that he certainly should be able to keep at the Klopp's team. I think he's been getting some incredible performances out of Klopp's team. And I said it actually, I don't know if we spoke about it yesterday. I said if Klopp managed his team this season, we wouldn't have won the league. However, if Klopp managed our team this season, I think we'd go through against PSG in the Champions League. And that's mad, but I just think we do. I think that intensity in the Champions League is different. And I think a game like PSG, I think Klopp would have got them up for it a bit more. I think they would have been better going forward in terms of that specific game. But as a whole season of 38 games in the league, I think Slot's won us that because of the way he plays and how controlled he is and how we've kept players fit because of the way he plays. We need a CDM-CM, absolutely for me, absolutely as well. Right wing 2. It depends on Jota, Nunes, and even Diaz could be leaving. In fact, yeah, let me get a Diaz news up, actually. That's the news I'm going to bring to you, guys. I knew I had one more piece of news to because it does look like Luis Diaz might be staying now, guys. It does look like Luis Diaz might be staying. Let me get it up for you, guys. Let me get it up for you. I had it somewhere. Let's have a look. I had it somewhere. Where has it gone? I will find it. I will find the Diaz news. Salah's also spoken about the celebrations as well. Is absolutely overjoyed about us coming. Darwin Núñez, Al Nassr won't come for Darwin Núñez. It doesn't look like now. I did say that actually a few months ago, saying they got John Duran, didn't they? So they won't probably won't go back for Núñez. But I still see Núñez being something for. In fact, Liverpool informed Darwin Núñez that he's not part of their plans ahead of the next season. Nottingham Forest are interested, but Atletico Madrid are best positioned for his signature. Price tag for Núñez, 35 to 38 million pounds. That is the price tag right now. We said no to 70, 80 million, didn't we, in January? Fucking hell. How do we say no to that sort of money for Núñez? I don't care if there's still half a season left. We should have cashed in on that. Let me find that Diaz news. There is Diaz news. I'm going to find it. Can't find it, guys. But it does look like Diaz potentially could be staying. They are going to try and get negotiations for a new contract. That was the report I saw earlier as well. Let's get these things. Slot inexperience showed against PSG. Yeah, that's. I think Klopp gets us through PSG. I do, but I don't think Klopp wins the league. I think that shows how good they are managing in terms of both the team and the competitions as well. Klopp wouldn't have been scared of PSG, that's for sure. That's what I'm thinking. I think Klopp gets through that PSG game. I just think there was no intensity in that PSG game. We let PSG dominate both legs, really. There was nothing. There was no intensity. There was no quick play. I think Klopp gets through that sort of that moment. Regarding the league, though, I think the way Slot's played in the league specifically, the control, the way we keep the ball, the way we had to get on the counter attack, and we've shown a bit more consistency, and especially keeping players fit as well. That's been a big part of the season, keeping players fit, because keeping likes of Salah, Van Dijk, Gravenberch, especially at midfield, Gravenberch, McAllister, or Szoboszlai, especially McAllister and Gravenberch, if any of them didn't dropped off and got injured for quite a while, that's a big miss in that midfield. I still can't find that Diaz news, but there is Diaz news. There we go. Liverpool will hold renewal talks with Luis Diaz in the coming weeks. That conversation will determine whether he stays or he could be sold in the summer. His contract ends in June 2027. That is according to that Colombian journalist, Pepe Sierra, who brought the Diaz joining Liverpool in the first place when he did sign for us a few years ago. So that is probably a reliable source as well. So we're going to hold a meeting with Diaz in the next few weeks. Whether he signs or not, that is to be seen. And again, I think if we sell Diaz, we've got to go get a left winger. We've got to. Personally, for me, I've said it before about Diaz, said it a few times now. If Diaz goes and we get a very, very good winger, I'm not bothered. If Diaz stays, I'm not bothered. I just want one of them things. I just want Diaz to improve more consistently. He's shown this season again he can produce brilliant levels. He just doesn't do it enough. Like he had a brilliant start to the season, first month or so, sensational. This is the Diaz I want to see. Then he dropped off a cliff again, and there was nothing. He was not doing anything. And then he had before the Tottenham game, he had like 3 man matches in a row for me, and then it just needs to start being much more consistent, Núñez. And at the age that he is, there's not going to be really much improvement on him being better. I know Salah has, but Salah, you can tell, is an absolute workhorse to get better, and I think he's been incredible every single season anyway. And I think Waterford Palace would be amazing. I mean, we spoke about Adam Walton earlier, actually, jumpers for the goalpost, and yeah, he is an absolutely incredible player. And if we look at striker and left back and CDM, for me, Wharton would be very, very expensive. That's the issue with that. Again, this is what we've got to think like. This is how we have to think as Liverpool fans. It's mad. We've got to say, these are the targets I want. I would love this guy. I would love this guy. But then we've got to say, would we sign him under FSG? We've got to put FSG hats on and think, we wouldn't sign him. We shouldn't have to think like that. We shouldn't have to think like that. And no, it's not FIFA. No, it's not Football Manager. No, we're not asking for 60 million here, 100 million there, 200 million there, 620 million there. We're not asking for that. We're just asking for the best out there, or potentially the best out there in the future, in the positions, in every position that we need to improve. Not just your striker and your left back and we go again. That's not enough. Because Arsenal's City won't stand still. They ain't standing still. Other teams are going to get better as well. If we stand still, we are bringing them back into the competition again. We're bringing them back into coming above us, and we're just biting his own ass if we stand still again. This is our second chance to build on something big here. We failed the first time. We won the league, won the Champions League. We stood still. You've got another opportunity at this now with a different manager. Fuck, go do it. Because if you don't do it, if you stand still again, it's going to bite you in the ass again. We're going to end up in Europa League in a few years, just like we did before. Because that's what happened. I hope the scene sense. They have changed their philosophy and a little bit of wiggle room on the contracts regarding Salah and Van Dijk. I just need to see some wiggle room in that transfer window now, in terms of the sell to buy thing, in terms of being stubborn, holding out for a few million. Because yesterday we saw a report about we might not go for Kerkez. We didn't agree on the fee. If the fee's 40 million for Kerkez, fucking pay 40 million for Kerkez. Yeah, try and negotiate it. If you can get him 30 million, absolutely fine. If you can try and get him 30 million, fair enough. But if they say 40 million and we move on from Kerkez and we don't get a left back, we're happy with the options that we've got again. That's simply not good enough. It's simply not good enough. Good evening, Camino. How are we doing? I'm sure you are absolutely delighted. We are 20 league titles. We are the champions of England. And it's an incredible season. It's nice to just sit back, relax, popcorn at the ready for the rest of the season. Champions League on tonight. Not really that arse, but it's football. I love watching football regardless. But yeah, it's nice to sit back, enjoy Champions of England, enjoy the rest of the season. 4 games left, just enjoy every single one of them. But business is business in the summer, and we need to get our game faces on. We need to start doing the right business and enough business. Otherwise, it's going to be again where we're dropping back again. And that's simply not good enough for a club with a Liverpool stature. Because Shankly wouldn't have stood for this, and Paisley wouldn't stand for that. He wouldn't stand. Both those managers would not stand for being standing still. They wouldn't. And that's what we shouldn't be doing. Thank you everyone for watching tonight. Thank you everyone in the comments, by the way. The comments have absolutely been flying off tonight. I absolutely appreciate everyone in the comments. Last Pie, Zakia, Ahmed, Jumpers for Goalpost, Camino, all of you guys, everyone that gets in the comments. Hussein came in the comments as well. Everyone that has come in the comments, thank you everyone. Everyone that has got involved. Thank you everyone for liking the content. Thank you everyone for sharing the content, subscribing to the channel. Please help us grow as a channel. I'm absolutely loving doing the channel for you guys. I want to give you the best Liverpool content out there, not just news. We do all sorts. We do interviews. We do everything that you want as Liverpool fans. I want to keep it going for every day for you guys. I want to keep daily content out for you guys, daily Liverpool content out. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel and like this video. Liking the video just for a second. Just click like on the button. Helps out massively. It really, really does. Thank you everyone that has done so far. And make sure you do get notification bells on as well, because we are live every single night. Every single night now. And we also get other content out as well. I'm also going to be doing a recorded video on Mohamed Salah and what records he could be breaking next season. Make sure you keep an eye out for that. Don't forget myself and Hooks, obviously Thursday or Friday. I need to message Hooks, myself and Hooks, Arsenal fan, to speak about Champions League and Premier League as well. Obviously, Arsenal play tonight, so let's see what they do tonight. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening, guys. Thank you everyone for being here as well.